Let's see, where did I leave you guys? Here you are, in Pandemonium.
Yeah.
Right, so, starting with some music.
Probably switch to my headphones so that way it actually comes to the screen.
So, previously you had made your way across the upper planes, and more recently the chaotic planes. Going through Isgard, the realm of heroes, Limbo, the realm of pure randomness, and then also Bedlam, a city that has some problems. Let's just...
Don't worry, we fixed things, and by fixed things, I mean made them worse.
We fixed things by which you mean we're never going there ever again.
Yeah, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, probably for the best.
Place fucking blows. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. And that wind that was blowing through Bedlam came from Pandemonium, which is where you find yourselves now. Pandemonium has no natural light sources, unlike most of the other planes throughout the Great Wheel. Instead, it is a series of massive and sometimes restrictively small caves. Just one long, dark tunnel heading on into a series of more long, dark tunnels. Now, fortunately, you aren't completely dependent on light sources, seeing as this party has... everybody has dark vision in it.
Some of us more so than others.
Indeed. But as a result, this means that you don't have to worry too much about making sure you can see where your feet are going as you walk forward. However, there's not much your eyesight can do about the constant blowing wind. And when I say blowing wind, I mean that the constant shrieking, howling noise that surrounds you from the moment you step through the portal is a constant companion throughout your entire journey through Pandemonium.
And the worst part is now you can't even tell that I have like a cool wind blowing my cape around because it just gets absorbed into this bigger wind.
Oh yeah,
Fucking bullshit.
I like to think that the winds cancel out and you're the only one who's not experiencing awful wind.
That would be funny.
Even if that were true, it doesn't do anything about the sound.
Yeah.
Which, just to make sure you don't ever background it in your mind, it is constantly going up and down in volume. It is turning from howling to shouting to screaming back to howling. It is constantly varying in strength and volume, and so you are unable to avoid thinking about it for more than a minute at a time. And if you want to say anything to your companions, you have to shout loudly in their ears to have any hope of having them hear you. That or the message spell, but I don't think any of you took that.
No.
Fortunately, there are places of respite. Small side caverns that are just sort of off the main path of the winds of Pandemonium, where the noise gets quiet enough for you to be able to sleep, or just stand there and rest in some cases. And what also helps is the fact that you are not alone. As I've mentioned before, there are followers of the march. And at this point, even as you are heading into the lower planes, there are still a considerable number of people who are following along with the march. It seems to have attracted intellectual attention, philosophical attention, and then just a few crazy assholes who are interested in seeing what happens when the Modrons go up against the forces of chaos.
I mean, to be fair, that's probably going to be the funniest thing out of the entire adventure.
But as such, you are sometimes able to find help and assistance in the tunnels of Pandemonium as you follow along in the path of the Modron March. You sometimes have companions who share the evening with you, and you also discover that Pandemonium is the home plane of the Bleak Cabal, the Nihilist faction, as you might recall from your brief run-in outside of Arborea.
Oh man, I'd probably be a nihilist too if I had to live here.
Yeah, probably.
Well, as you find out, the main branch of the Bleak Cabal, because I mentioned this before, but those are just sort of offshoots. But the main branch are basically have a humanist approach to nihilism, that nothing ever matters. Even when you die, your consciousness is eventually absorbed into the planes themselves. The gods come and go. Nothing has any real lasting meaning, so let's at least be nice to each other while we can.
Enjoy the moment, because that's all you've got.
Yeah, and help each other out, because we are all we've got. And so that's why the Bleak Cabal, it turns out, has specialized in helping to treat mental disorders. Partly because their faction is, well, rather susceptible to mental disorders, but also because they feel the need to help out their fellow humanoids.
Please tell me they don't do that here.
They help out here in ways that they can, but I don't...
Well, a lot of people are driven mad by Pandemonium, and so while they don't treat people here, they
Right.
do come here to find unfortunate souls who have become lost.
Okay, that's fine. I just please don't treat people here.
No. They've got the whole facility back in Sigil.
Okay.
And although factions are technically not allowed in there, their associates still run the place. Anyway, you eventually come across the portal which takes you from Pandemonium to the first true lower plane, the Abyss.
Yeah!
Woohoo, I guess.
Gonna suck!
It's gonna entirely suck.
It's gonna suck real bad!
Also, we're gonna have to come back here
666
later
layers
too.
of sucking.
You don't need to come back to Pandemonium.
No, to the Abyss.
Oh yeah, no, to the Abyss, yeah. Can't wait. It's gonna suck real bad.
What you encounter is, well, Lorem explains, for those of you who haven't studied planar lore, the topmost layer of the Abyss is called the layer of infinite portals. Scattered throughout the landscape, the blasted, dirty, war-torn landscape are pits. And at the bottom of each pit is a portal to one of the lower levels of the Abyss. Supposedly you can get to every single layer of the Abyss from this layer. And efforts have been made to chart out lower levels of the Abyss, but such efforts have consistently run into issues. I mean, we are far enough away from chaos now that the landscape can be trusted to stay consistent, But at the same time, the constant war over portal openings has its own effects on the landscape. The portals themselves often lead to completely uninhabitable layers, just so completely hostile to normal humanoid life that spending more than an instant there without proper preparations will melt you or cause you to burst into flames and die immediately. And so many explorers who have plumbed the depths of some of the pits to the lower levels of the abyss never come back.
And to think we have to come back here. That's great.
Yeah, I'm so glad that that's a thing.
I mean, it sucks.
The most consistent parts of this layer are the pits that lead to the domains of demon princes and gods. Because these individuals have enough power, enough clout, enough followers to create basically, well, number one, to unify the plane that they've decided should be their home, and number two, to send enough of their cronies up to this layer to guard the entrance.
And it sounds like a certain someone has taken up residence at the very bottom.
So you've heard. But considering that each portal leads here, to this plane, it'll be a bit difficult to decide what the bottom even means.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, it's just all relative, ain't it?
Yeah.
And then there's what happens when, during your trip through the abyss. This is
Nothing of significance.
How many Modrons die this time?
Oh, quite a lot. The Tanari, the demons, are very, very much love the idea of tearing apart Modrons. As many as they can. As often as they can. It is, generally speaking, a good idea to stay at least a few miles away from the march during your trip, since otherwise you'd kind of get drawn into a mini blood war.
Yeah, I don't feel like dealing with the Forever War.
Yeah. Or the Blood War.
Well, I mean, bad news for you on that front.
That's why I'll never die. It's very simple.
Just make sure to put rest in peace on your coffin so that you don't get drafted into the Skeleton War.
But kind of on a bright side to this, you don't really have to worry about keeping your distance for very long, because at some point you are... Well, a spell crystal just sort of descends out of the sky, and it absorbs all of you into it, and jumps you halfway across the plane into the presence of the wizard who cast the summoning spell.
Oh, okay. That was... okay.
Convenient.
And is this a familiar-looking wizard?
No.
Just
her
some
name-
rando wizard?
Yeah, just a random wizard who has also been following the Modron March, but now has some other business to attend to in the Abyss. Her name, as she introduces herself, is Terere Ilsmiser,
That's a terrible name.
a tiefling wizard of some significant power, but not as powerful as you. But unfortunately, her spell, corrupted through the energies of the Abyss, has summoned you, and so you are forced to obey her commands and defend her when necessary.
Oh, was she trying to
Wow,
summon
okay.
a demon and got us instead?
That's a trip.
I have questions about how this summoning spell works.
This is a very abrupt way to introduce the idea that we've just been fucking compelled to work for someone. having flashbacks to the very beginning of
Yeah,
this
like,
campaign.
yeah, actually, yeah.
A bit.
Okay.
Do I have no say in resisting this? Like,
Can I?
Well, once you're grabbed by the spell, you are compelled to follow its commands. There are two upsides, which are number one, if you die, you are sent back to where you came from instead of just dying. And number two, when Ilsmeiser tells you that you should expect to be under her command for a full week, you, through the knowledge granted by the spell, are aware that she only actually has a day because her spell grabbed significantly more powerful creatures than what it was supposed to.
she will die for this.
Is what's her attitude like? Is she being like polite about this, or?
She is being paternalistic.
All right.
She's
will die
she's
for this.
being polite, but in the sense that she expects you to, but only because she expects you to follow her commands to the letter, and to enjoy being under her service.
There will be hell to pay.
Hmm. All right. Well, this is annoying, but whatever. What does she want?
Well, she basically compels you to follow her into into one of the fortresses that dots the landscape. One of the many places that the Tonari have built in order to command some strategic location or watch over a nearby portal pit. There's apparently some sort of lost knowledge locked inside the tower that she wants to retrieve.
Okay.
To make the long story short, it takes you most of a day to explore the tunnels that run underneath the tower and avoid the Tonari war bands that are just sort of randomly wandering through the area, contesting with each other to see who should own it. And eventually, maybe half an hour left before your spell runs out, and meanwhile she thinks she's got 6 days and half an hour. You reach the library vault of the Fortress of the Fallen Stair, which is the goal of your little expedition. And, however, someone has gotten here first and is already perusing the books. And just for fun, let's roll Arcana or Religion.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I love Arcana. Actually, I think I'm exactly as good at religion as I am Arcana.
I know
And
I'm definitely better at Arcana.
This is a trained-only roll, by the way.
Damn.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Well,
then
never mind.
give me a second to roll Arcana, and then I'll roll Religion for Ganesh. Well, I got a 23, so I don't know how much better Ganesh is. I'm pretty sure his intelligence is -1.
It's got a good modifier, though.
Oh, he does have a really good modifier. Good modifier doesn't mean shit when rolling garbage.
Well, between the two of you, you'd realize that this is an Arcanoloth. A Yugoloth who are natives of Gehenna, which is the more evil than lawful plane. So he's actually pretty far afield from where he normally spends his time. And so, yes, he's here to find, in fact, the same book that she's after. It's quite famous, and this place hasn't been abandoned for too long. Well, abandoned isn't quite the right word. Contested, maybe. Everywhere is contested if it isn't occupied. And,
Dude, this is just a wolf on two legs.
well, a bit more like a jackal. But yes, a jackal-headed humanoid with a deep and abiding interest in books and research.
Okay.
And as soon as...
It sounds like Gorham, just with a dog head.
That's a pretty big assumption.
Gorham is neutral, not evil. Anyway, so when Terere and the party show up, Hugo Loth's response, let's see. Villainathraxis.
Really villaina?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, Villainathraxis.
Oh, there's that one name? Okay.
Yeah, one long name. But, yeah, he calmly sets the book aside when she comes in and demands it and says, all right, let's negotiate. And Terere's response is annoyance and outrage, and demands that the book should be released to her at once, seeing as she has gone through so much trouble to acquire it. And when Villainathraxis starts describing his own journey to this library, she cuts him off and continues to hurl insults and demands.
Oh my god, y'all are fucking children.
Mom said it's
And-
my turn to use the Xbox.
And here's where your decision comes into play here, because you can keep them talking until the spell runs out, or you can wait for her to realize that she has a bunch of powerful adventurers at her beck and call, turn to you and say, kill that guy.
I mean, I want to run it out because they're fucking children.
I want to run it
Her
out too.
especially.
I want to run it out too because it'd be funny.
Just acting like a goddamn child.
I still...
The Arcanoloth is not losing his temper at all. He's just standing there.
No, I meant she is acting like a goddamn child, so it'd be more
Right,
funny
back.
for me.
I'm just explaining what he's doing.
I mean, Aurelia is just gonna wait. She doesn't really...
I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, I think me and Torpo both want to see if we can goad them into running out the clock.
All right, roll deception or persuasion in order to just keep her talking.
Let's see. I think they are both the same for... I'll roll deception since we hardly ever roll deception in Bane. 28.
All right, does Lily have anything to add?
I think he had to go do something real quick. But, like... I guess there are technically 3 more numbers on there. There's a 15% chance that I could roll something better. If I get advantage.
Well, you might as well.
Okay. No, let's go with that 28, please, because 28 is much bigger than 12.
Indeed. All right, so, yeah, unfortunately the nature of the spell means that you do not see the aftermath of what happens when Terere's spell just suddenly ends. Well before she thought it would. But you
Wait.
like to...
Do we get sent back when that happens?
Yeah, unfortunately, you now have an extra day's worth of ground to cover.
At least it's only
That
a
kinda
day and not
sucks.
a week. But it's funny. It's funny that she, like, has to deal with the fact that she doesn't have backup now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd feel bad, but not like she really did anything to endear herself to us, so whatever.
She
No,
ordered
she-
us around. No, I don't like being ordered around.
And she definitely did not do anything to encourage friendship between yourselves and her.
To her, it was a business transaction. To me, it was not having any say in what I get to do. So, fuck her.
All right. And so you end up heading back into the Outlands. Anyone want to catch up, Lily?
Torpo, we meant that one doesn't matter because I was rolling in advantage because we were pretty sure Lily would help. But Lake managed to do deception well enough to keep her talking for the half hour. So we were just zapped back to where we were before, and we have no idea what happened afterwards. But we ran out the clock, and Lake thinks it was funny.
And this is just a powerful spite play on Lily's part. Like, A, she hated the fact she was summoned and forced to do the shit in the first place. If she's gonna do it, she's gonna do it of her own volition. And B, that wizard was acting like a fucking child.
Yeah.
So I burned my finger a little bit.
Oh no.
All right. By following the march, you eventually start catching back up and find your way to the portal back to the Outlands, to the town of Plague Mort.
Now, my good buddy Plague Mort.
And let's just say that
his associates call him Morton.
let's just say that even though this place is only on the borders of the Abyss, it's still not the kind of town that you want to get a room at an inn from. It's the kind of town where if you want to sleep, you're best off walking a few miles out of town and camping.
You know what? I think I'll do that instead. I don't trust a town named Plague Mort.
Yeah.
Anyway, you get to enjoy another fairly incident-free walk through the Outlands after this.
That's nice.
Thank goodness.
But after that, you understand, you will be heading through the next gate town into Carceri. And once again, Lorm goes on at length about the plane and mentions that in this place it's sometimes referred to as the prison of the plains. It is remarkably easier to enter the plane than it is to leave it. Now, presumably we will not have too much issue following the Modrons. They will conduct this march every few hundred years, so I assume at least that they would have their own reliable method of exiting the plane.
You'd hope.
And yet...
I mean, I trust them too. Sort of.
They'll probably have a way for Modrons to leave, but not for us, because that wasn't in the contract.
if all else fails, I do have the correct tuning fork to get back home. Hopefully, hopefully we can catch back up with them on the other side, if need be. Just hope that doesn't break whatever requirement we're supposed to follow for this favor.
I mean, I'm still not even sure that we had to do all this. Maybe we could have just told them that we followed it. Just take a shortcut. But, who knows?
Yes, it's precisely because we don't know that we want to avoid taking chances.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
Speaking of which, Carcery awaits.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
All right. You make your way to the next town, which is known as Cursed.
Okay. Is it cursed?
No, wait, how's it spelled?
Curst.
Okay, but is it cursed?
Aren't we all?
Do they get that a lot? Like tourists come to town and just ask everybody, "Hey, is this town cursed?"
You get the same exact reaction as people who go up to as cashiers give when they're asked, when they're told, "Haha, I just made that $50 bill today." They just kind of go, "Eh."
What?
If you work at at a cash register at any retail place, eventually you're going to get somebody who hands you a $50 bill, and when you check it to make sure it's authentic, they go, "Oh, don't worry, I just printed it this morning. It should be good." And it's like,
Oh.
I've heard that one about 8,000 times, but I will laugh politely.
I've
No, everyone
never
thinks
heard
they're
of
the
someone
most.
saying that. That's a very.
Everyone thinks
lame
they're the
joke.
most original, clever motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah.
I don't know, which they're not, because obviously I am.
And incidentally, if the name Cursed sounds familiar, it's because it is a featured location in Planescape Torment.
Yeah,
Oh.
yep. Oh, yeah, no, and things happen there.
I've
Boy,
never
howdy.
actually played Planescape Torment.
Yeah, I still haven't got. I did buy it, like the enhanced edition or whatever.
Yeah, I bought it off of GOG a while ago. I just haven't gotten around to playing it.
Just Cursed lives up to its name.
Okay.
Anyway,
But first,
the March is long since left town by the time you actually manage to get there. But fortunately, you don't run into any problems that the Nameless one does. And so you are able to go through the town gate into Carcery.
Oh man, we don't even count our super boss.
okay, crossing my fingers that Carcery is the plane of like evil shit that's like not horribly unpleasant.
You find yourself in a bog.
God fucking damn it!
Yeah! I know a thing or two about bogs.
Those of you who are human-sized are knee-deep. Those of you who are not, it is up to your waist.
It is a fucking struggle is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I should just use the fucking boots of levitation and have someone drag me by rope.
Yeah, hold on. Wait, now that we say this, surely Aurelia would be mounted if the gate is large enough to.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
Yes. Okay. Thank God.
So you're making your griffin walk through it.
These shoes are expensive, okay? The griffin doesn't mind.
I'm sure the griffin does mind. It's enchanted not to.
It's a fey creature. It doesn't care about bogs. Probably lives in a bog. I don't know.
At the same time, though, you've recently discovered what it feels like to be a summoned creature.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, isn't it?
No, hold
Kind of
on.
fucked up.
That's
It's kind of
that's not
fucked
the
up.
same.
It's kind of
That's not
fucked
the
up.
same.
It's kind of fucked up. I'll stop now.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna use the boots of levitation.
Also, I'm very nice to my Griffin. I give him treats all the time.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get a piggyback ride from Lake, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm pretty sure there is something I can do about it, but I'm
Don't you dare.
choosing not to.
Wait, no, I'll just do Grenache. I'll just get a piggyback ride from Grenache.
Yeah, Grenache won't do anything.
Grenache would understand.
Lake
Really
would,
excited for when Lake's feet are covered in fucking leeches.
Lake would fall into the bog on purpose and then say, "Sorry, I tripped."
Lake's feet are immediately covered with leeches.
Fuck, I knew it. Yes.
Oh well.
Just when do we find the part of the swamp with the fucking demon nun, her knight, and a bunch of aborted fetuses?
What?
I'm
Demon
not sure
souls.
what that's from. It sounds
Demon
familiar.
souls.
Oh.
No, I've never played nor seen that one.
You know what? That's perfectly fine.
Anyway, so Carceri has there is no sun and there is no sky. Instead, the land is divided up into gigantic spheres that float around one another, always keeping a certain amount of distance from each other. The one you're on and the predominant number of spheres for this layer of Carceri are covered in bogs and swamps and miserable wetlands of every description.
And all wetlands are miserable.
You know,
True.
I
Some of
have a
them look-
complaint.
Some of them can look pretty if you're not actually there and covered in mosquitoes. These look ugly, and you're also still covered in mosquitoes.
Yeah, I have a complaint that I would like to register with the creator of the universe. Why does evil shit always have to be so ugly and unpleasant? I mean, there can be pretty evil things.
Like, yeah, you
Can't
think at least like lawful evil would be just obsessed with appearances.
Yeah.
Maybe the lawful evil plans are better.
Maybe.
Aurelia hopes, knowing that
Knowing
probably
that's
not.
true.
It's like, is there something about being a bad person that just makes you love disgusting shit? Like,
I mean, at the very
Lily
least,
would fight you on that.
at the very least, you would think that like the lawful evil places would be covered in like nice pristine black marble or something.
exactly. I just,
Who the fuck wants to?
there's no
associate with a
reason that
dog?
your bad morals have to coincide with bad aesthetics. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
What we really need here in the evil areas is brutalist architecture.
Now, one nice thing about coming to a swamp in order to follow the Modrons is that their trail is really easy to follow. They've just sort of stomped and mushed their way across the landscape in one specific direction. You can see broken and toppled trees, giant trampled mounds of grass, and just tons of little potholes that are even now still filling up with water.
Doesn't make it any more pleasant.
All right.
Let's just follow, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Well, the trail only goes for about a mile or two before it abruptly ends, with no indication that anyone has walked in any other direction.
Huh. Well, I guess the Modrons all died. Time to go home.
No, we need at least one of them to survive so we can get into the heart of Mechanus.
Well, hey there, Bex. You looking for Modrons?
I look
Yes.
around to see the source of the voice.
I don't. I just say yes.
Well, really just a woman with red hair, looks human, appears to have come up from behind you. She's got a small backpack on her back, looks like she's ready for travel. She also has a long curved blade at her side. She's wearing leather armor that looks to be the sort of expensive enchanted sort. Although at the moment, it's covered in mud up to her thighs.
Yeah, we're looking for the Modrons.
Well, what brings you through these parts?
Following the Modrons.
As far as I understand it, most of the sensible March followers are just skipping this part.
We're not very sensible.
We were hired to do a very
I'm a
specific
completionist.
job. I'm trying to get the platinum trophy.
Gotta improve my run.
All right, well, I tell you what, I can help you find the place where the Modrons pick back up after they left this sphere, but it's going to cost you. I'm going to be expecting 200 gold pieces, half of it up front.
Does this lady look trustworthy?
Yeah, I'm immediately letting Aurelia handle this.
Insight.
I mean, Aurelia's not actually that amazing at insight.
I'll do insight though.
I think she's okay at it, but
I believe Grenache is actually the insightful one.
Yeah,
Yeah, Grenache is the
like,
insightful one.
Grenache has like a fucking 10 in insight at least. So let me roll
I have
for
a
him as
0,
well.
but let's do it for shits and giggles.
Yeah, what is his? Yeah, like I said, 10. It doesn't matter when he rolls like shit.
God damn, somehow
3 13s.
yeah.
Behold, I am the most insightful one.
Maybe we really are cursed.
Well, it does kind of make a bit of sense, because it takes a thief to catch a thief. You, Lily, get the impression that this woman practices a trade you know very well.
Bullshittery?
I mean, does she?
Carpentry?
Knick-knack collection?
Is it thieving?
It's probably thieving.
She's 100% a shyster.
That's kind of racist, but
I don't know if that's actually racist or not. Oh my god.
I don't think it actually is. No.
Okay.
It isn't. It isn't.
Okay.
But it is a sort of a weird turn of phrase for this
It's
situation. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the information I'm giving you for a 15.
Well, remember, if she tries to run away with it, I can see 120 feet in magical darkness. I never sleep, and I have a laser beam that goes 300 feet. If she tries to run away with our money, she ain't getting far.
You know, I got a feeling running away isn't the problem.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, Lily's the one who figured it out, so I'm not going to assume that we all psychically know. I'm going to assume the rest of us maybe feel a little uneasy about her, but...
So just why should I trust you anyway?
Do you say that to her?
Yes.
Well, it's because I saw where the Modrons went. I know where they exited Karseri. And I've got a hot air balloon that'll get us over to the right sphere.
Out of curiosity, which is the right sphere anyway?
Well, that'll cost you. Won't it?
I guess it will.
Could you explain to us exactly how they were transported? We're not very familiar with this plane.
Well, they move themselves. A lot of them can fly, and those that could grabbed onto the ones that couldn't, and off they went. They don't tire, from what I understand. So
That
it's
is
not
true.
like the long trip did them any harm.
No. I mean, we're kind of stuck, I think.
Now, if you don't mind my saying, it looks like you lot are going to be pretty good for 100 gold. So what's the hesitation for?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're asking for payment up front.
Half the payment up front.
That's still some amount of payment up front. Just want to make sure that we can trust you.
Well, down here in the lower planes, it's often not about trust. It's about how much use one can be for someone else. As far as I understand it, I can be of use to you, and 200 gold can be of use to me.
All right. I mean, I'll say that maybe we're just conferring
I mean,
amongst ourselves. But I'm just gonna say, it's probably worth a shot, given that I don't think we have any. We don't have any obvious other leads, right?
yeah, she's literally our only lead now.
So if she scams us out of 100 gold somehow, that's not really a huge deal. I'd say it's just worth risking it.
Yeah.
Okay, just don't make it seem like it's not a big deal.
We can keep an eye on her, obviously, but yeah, okay. So we'll tell her, yeah, all right, 200 gold then, 100 up front.
Glad you've listened to reason. Shake on it.
Don't.
Sure.
Oh my god.
All right.
Well, what's she gonna
She shakes
fucking
her hand.
electrocute me or something? Like,
Roll a wisdom. No, don't.
Oh no, she's got a joy buzzer.
like even if she did something, like everyone else would notice.
Yeah, it's a good way to die.
Yeah.
Right. But, yeah. Once the deal is made, she takes you over to where she's got her hot air balloon. And looks like she's using some sort of leather stitched together from a lot of smaller animals as the balloon part. And well, she starts getting the fire going right away, but it still takes some time for the balloon to fill up with heat. Fortunately, the basket is actually fairly large, and so all of you are able to comfortably fit on it. And when the time comes for it to rise off the ground, it does so, and you lift off into the empty space between spheres. You notice, by the way, that all of the spheres seem to be somehow lit from within. Although it's only just lit enough for you to be able to see in front of you, and not enough to sort of cast any light outwards into the I don't want to say abyss because that word is taken, but the nothingness.
The void.
The void.
The emptiness.
Also kind of taken.
Is it?
Between spheres. Yeah, there's the plane of the void.
Yeah, it's just the emptiness between spheres. It's fine.
It is the quasi-elemental plane between the negative energy plane and the elemental plane of air.
Huh.
Okay.
Sounds stupid.
Well, it's where void comes from. As weird as that sounds to say.
What is void?
Baby, don't hurt me.
But,
All right. While we're traveling, I'm gonna try to make conversation with her and see if I can.
well, actually, she was about to start to make conversation with you, so...
Okay.
Well, first thing she does is say, I don't think I've properly introduced myself yet. My name is Ach, and I'm in what some folks around these parts would call the Revolutionary League.
All right. Aurelia is now more suspicious. I see.
Now, the idea behind the Revolutionary League is that any sort of structure or hierarchy is incompatible with the individual will, and so must be thrown down and destroyed. Well, I used to be a bit more of an active member a few years ago. These days, I mostly just bum around.
How's that
Like
working
you
out
do.
for you?
Well, recently it got me 100 gold and the promise of 100 more. So pretty well, I'd say.
That's fair.
Anyway, I'm here in Corsari because it's actually the headquarters of the Revolutionary League. Now, the fact that this plane is a prison, well, that's not something we take too kindly to. So the reason we hang around here is to find ways of breaking people out.
Oh, well, I mean, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Wait, who's imprisoned here?
Oh, all sorts. Back when the factions ran Sigil, it was quite common for the mercy killers to throw evil doers and lawbreakers into prisons down in Kurst. And if Kurst couldn't hold them, they'd get thrown into Corsari. Aside from that, those who have wronged the gods often find their way in here. And gods themselves, after a big fight, loser often winds up here in Corsari.
Right, okay. So mostly people who kind of had it coming then.
Well, some would say so. People who follow them would probably say otherwise.
Well, maybe not the god part, but the...
Well, if you say that you're that someone deserves to be locked up, then you're imposing your own thoughts and beliefs on them, aren't you?
Well,
What you're saying is abolish the prison system.
yeah, I'm just saying, you know, if they were, surely it depends on why they were locked up. If they themselves were locked up because they were trying to do something that, you know, forces their beliefs on others, for example, to kill someone, which forces their belief that the other person should not exist, Is that not appropriate, or is your philosophy such that you must tolerate even people who conflict with your philosophy?
Well, as far as the Revolutionary League is concerned, when two people have a dispute, that dispute is between the two people and shouldn't be dragged out in front of the rest of society.
But what if it affects the rest of society?
Well, if it affects other people, then they can take up their own personal issues, one by one.
I see. And so what if there are a lot of people who have the same personal issue, and thus they feel that it is in their best interest to form some kind of, I don't know, community that would then act in such a manner as to resolve or even preempt future such issues?
That sounds like a lot of, like, a government which they would be keen to try and tear down.
Right. I'm just sort of...
If I'm going to be honest,
some Hobbesian analysis here.
If I'm going to be honest here, your little issues with the Revolutionary League are part of the reason why I'm not such an active member anymore.
Right.
And in any event, I'm getting the impression that you're not from around here, so to speak.
Correct.
Nah.
What
Primes?
gave you the idea?
Primes?
Yep.
That's correct.
I see. So what's a bunch of Primes doing following the Modrons?
We got lost on the way home.
My God, Lily.
What?
Well, complicated.
I'll bet.
Told my
Complicated
family I was
enough
gonna go out and get some milk.
Complicated enough to find yourselves in this plane of all places. You know, it's hard to get out of this plane, right? Oh, yes, I told them that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, exactly.
We're pretty clever, though.
Are we?
Well, I am.
Well, the Mordrons seem to have found their way. And the thing about portals out of Carceria is that they tend to be few and far between, especially if you can find one that's nice and consistent. That's still going to be there the day after tomorrow.
Right.
There's some folks up in Sigil who pay a lot of money for that kind of knowledge.
Fair enough.
You can't tell me that you're not interested in getting that kind of reward, are you? Or are you so caught up by these Modrons that you haven't got time for little side trips like that?
I suppose it would depend. It's not our first priority, certainly, but I don't know. This is the first we've heard of it, so it's not as if we've given it much thought.
I see. So you're not terribly interested in heading back to Sigil right after this? It's a hard march. Going through this part of the Great Wheel.
No, we're instead deciding to go somewhere far worse.
Yeah, it's I have to say the earlier parts of the march were more pleasant. I will concede that point, certainly.
Betting it'll only get marginally better towards the very end. We're back in the New Plains.
Wait, so you're telling me you've been on this march since the very beginning?
Yes.
As a joke, for laughs, you see.
Well, aren't you some balmy Primes?
I suppose we are, yes.
All right. Well, the conversation continues after that, going into tales of past exploits, small talk, descriptions of places you've been,
Did she ever say where she's from?
She did not. But you guess from her demeanor and her accent that she is another planar human. If she wasn't born on Sigil, then she spent a lot of time there. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was assuming, but I was just curious.
The accent, at least.
It's terrible.
It's really more like accents. Kind of shifts between them. No offense, Bobbin.
They all
do
sound
my
really
best.
fake. It's weird.
I can only say I do my best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do actually appreciate your skill with voices. It certainly outstrips mine.
Let's put it this way: if it wasn't weird to only just now start doing a character voice for Lake, I would be doing.
But yes, the journey does continue for some time because, all told, it takes 5 hours for the hot air balloon to go from the sphere of your origin point to the sphere of the Modron's destination. And
Okay.
you are able to determine fairly quickly that this is the correct... that this is the correct sphere, because you immediately see the massive traces of the Modron March pick up at the spot where the two spheres are oriented most closely to each other.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
At least she didn't lead us into a trap, I guess.
Yeah.
Right this way. And she leads you fair distance away from the origin point. But let's see here. Yeah, it doesn't say exact distance, but you are eventually taken to a giant pit full of quicksand, where the traces once again abruptly end. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to be on this sphere to see them do it directly, but so far as I can figure, they just leapt right in, and out they went.
Wait, what?
It's concerning.
They just leapt into the quicksand?
It sure doesn't look like they carried on anywhere else.
Well, I mean, we already established they could just fly somewhere. Do we know that they didn't fly to another sphere?
No. The void between spheres is pretty open. I would have seen them leave again if that was their goal. Plus, looks like you can sink into this pit quite far.
Rolling insight to see if she's full of shit.
Yeah,
No.
Grenache got 21 to see if she's full of shit.
All right. Well, as far as Grenache can tell, she is being completely honest about the facts.
Okay. Do Montrose need to breathe? That is my question.
Yeah.
Search me.
Oh, okay. I wasn't asking that out loud.
Are
But, I mean,
you
that
coming with us, or is this where you intend to leave?
Oh no, I'm curious about what's on the other side here too.
Oh,
Plus,
okay.
if you aren't heading back to Sigil immediately, then you wouldn't mind if I take on the reward money for figuring out this here portal, would you?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Well, if you don't trust me, I'll go on ahead, but I expect you to follow along with me. Portals to Carceri tend to be, well, not so easy. Well, not so safe.
I'll go.
And, she strides forward into the quicksand holds her breath as she slowly but steadily sinks down, and eventually the tips of her red hair just vanish under the muck.
And then goes Lake. And Lake dies. The adventure's over.
For Lake, maybe.
All right, what's the order anyone else wants to jump in?
I think Grenache would go next, honestly. Volunteer.
Okay.
So. Billy and Aurelia.
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll just go. It's fine.
All right. Does Lily jump in? Everyone, you're kind of alone here. Even Lorm's jumped in at this point.
Yeah, fuck it. Okay.
Listen, if all your friends jumped into a pit of quicksand, would you?
No. Luckily, you're just coworkers.
All right. Well, you hold your breath. You feel the slimy material just rise above your head. And at that point, you feel as if you are falling forwards for a second before you stumble out into a stone corridor.
You're in a dungeon.
Ah, we are in a dungeon. I need to find where we are. There we are. Okay.
Lower right.
Oh, there we go.
Behind you, you can still see the portal, which is a plain brown mass because it is full of the quicksand that you just traveled through in order to get here. To your left and right, you can see a series of thin pillars lining the walls as they move forward and across from you. And it appears as if the corridor branches to the north and south once you leave the immediate passageway into the portal.
Huh. Well, glad the marsh didn't I'm glad the quicksand didn't kill us. Is it obvious which direction the Modrons went in?
Yes, they have left many muddy footprints that head towards the north direction.
Well, let's go north then.
Also, Aurelia is going to immediately start using prestidigitation to clean her clothes.
Fair enough. Well, get your pogs moving if you're going.
Like, it's a backline fighter. They're not going front.
Kind of just peer around the corner.
Yep. Well, around the southern corridor, you see that the pillar-lined path curves back towards the east, and a side passage, a bit more narrow, leads to the west. Towards the north, you see that the corridor ends in a large chamber, although you can't see too much of it, and there appears to be something moving, rotating at the center of the large chamber.
Something spooky.
I get the feeling that we're not in Hades. Don't think there's anything quite like it in that plane.
It took me a while to figure out what I was looking at in her pog, because at first I thought it was like a weird beak mask thing, and then I realized that she's just mostly obscure shadow.
Yeah. There's just a little bit of light falling on her shoulder.
Yeah.
Just gotta head down here and peek off.
Yeah, if you zoom in, it's very clear. Hey, wait a second. This is the old Aurelia Pog.
I grabbed that off of the
I mean, it's not a huge deal.
Airship.
yeah, off of the airship.
Also, I really like this music. It's very relaxing.
Oh, it already finished. I didn't even notice.
I have it on loop, so I.
Oh god, I didn't even click the link. I didn't even notice the link.
Oh no!
You keep missing those.
I've missed it like one other time. Keep missing them. God damn.
Yeah,
Right, you should be able to control the white hair pog.
Okay. Red hair Pog, you go over here.
Destroy the redhead.
Oh, I can totally use that in the future once I can start making simulacrums.
Right. Anyway,
Simulacra.
so what Lily sees when she moves further south is another pillared corridor leading to another portal. This one is well, it features a bunch of busts, frescoes, carvings that indicate creatures that are at this point familiar to you, because you just left the plane where they are in constant battle with one another, trying to grab territory around a series of pits.
Oh, the Tanari.
Yes, the demons, the Tanari. To your west, the short corridor ends in a door.
Tanari are just like a specific sect of demon, right? There are
Tanari are demons without the word demon, because Bible panic.
Okay. I thought there was like more demons that did not like fall under the umbrella of Tanari. So.
Well, kind of, but it's more backstory than I'd be going into.
Fair enough.
All right, Lily? You have seen what's in both directions. What do you choose to do about it? Or where do any of you choose to go?
Going up to this weird spinning thing.
Of course you sang Grenashing, you fucking coward.
Blake is a backline fighter. I will die on this hill. When I have a range of 300 feet, I don't need to get within melee range of things.
I stand by being coward.
Listen, there's a reason I took the 300-foot range thing, and that is 100% because I am a coward. You know how long it took for me to finally be knocked unconscious in this campaign? Like 90 sessions!
Well, in any event, what you see before you is a massive underground chamber, square in size and shape, lined with stone on every surface, and in the center is a massive rotating pillar. And what's curious about it is that it is rotating in sections, 7 sections, as a matter of fact. From the top of the ceiling of this chamber right down to the base. Even the door that you see attached to this tower is moving.
That's gotta be annoying whenever you...
The rotating pillar is 50 feet wide and over 100 feet tall. The muddy footprints that have led you north head straight to the base of the tower.
I think we should open the door where the footprints are, because 100% as this thing rotates, it probably leads to other places, and the Modrons would know exactly where they would need to go. So that's my thinking on that.
All right, let's see here. So as you approach the base of the tower, Ark grabs your shoulder and says, "Now hold on a second here. We still don't know where we are. And if we can figure that much out, then we can get a lot more information about what exactly this sort of portal is all about. And maybe you just want to keep going on with your march, but getting the whole dark of this situation is going to be much more valuable to me.
That's fair.
And aren't you at least a little curious?"
I'm already agreeing with you. I'm just saying, when we're ready to leave, let's just make sure that we at the same exact spot where the footprints are.
All right, well, half the party seems to be AFK, so let's put a lid on it for now.
Oh, gee, I didn't even notice the Torpo put open beer. So I'm in another server where I have a dedicated about role-playing stuff, and occasionally people talk about the campaigns that they're playing in. And one of the players in a certain campaign said, "Never a good sign when we run into a D&D monster I haven't heard of, and they crawled out of a sphere of annihilation."
Well, I think the second part takes priority.
And then he posted a picture of the handout for it, which
All right.
and,
Have we all been murdered yet?
no, not yet. He posted a
But Torpo is still stepped away again.
I briefly showed it in there. And then he said, "And now we're weekend at burning one of these things' corpses." And I'm just like, what even is this campaign that he's playing?
Huh. That sure is something.
Apparently he's playing the Tomb of Annihilation.
Ah, that explains it.
Hi. So, the lady wants to keep exploring the dungeon.
Ugh.
Yeah, wants to keep exploring the dungeon, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, we can do that, but and then like the muddy footprints that led up to the base, like we should open the door when it rotates over to there because of the way the Modrons.
Incidentally, there are 3 more exits to this room that you have now found yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good adventurers always go left, so my vote is go this way.
And I still wanted to see this little small hallway over here. I looked at that real quick. But also, I don't really see that much of a need to explore this place. Personally.
Well, Ak would probably be paid more if she knew where the hell they were. And she's also insisting that, for the sake of curiosity, you should at least figure out what the hell this place is.
Yeah, you know what? I am curious, so I'm gonna check this little side hallway.
All right. Let's see here. Well, nothing happens as you walk down the hallway. There's the door at the other end, so you're going to have to check it or open it in order to figure out what's behind it.
Yeah, I think I'll open it a little bit, see what's inside.
All right, just opening it a crack.
Yeah, just a crack.
All right. Well, roll a perception check.
Doopy-doopy-doo. That is incorrect. That is a 20.
And a good thing, too. And incidentally, because the rest of the party is checking out the large room with the rotating tower at the center, with a 20, you are able to notice as a cloud of mist apparates behind you, and a dark figure with haunting eyes stares into yours.
Fuck.
Is this a vampire prison?
It's a fucking vampire. God damn
God
it.
damn it. I fucking hate vampires.
Yeah,
Guys, did we stumble into vampire jail?
the last time we had to fight a vampire, I had to throw my makeup kit at it in order to render its invisibility half useless.
Yeah, and then your skin was oily for weeks.
Well, roll a wisdom saving throw.
I don't have to worry about my skin being oily so much anymore.
Give me a sec, I'm just checking one thing really quick before I roll it. I'm going to roll it anyway, but
Your skin is sappy for weeks. Maple syrup dripping down.
Guys, we should tap Lake. They're dripping again.
15.
That is not enough.
Oh no! Oh fuck, shit!
But you are wearing that headdress, right?
Mm-hmm. I am indeed.
So how do you want to play this? The vampire thinks that you are charmed under his spell. And he's not making any move to bite you immediately. Instead, while you are under his charm, he says, "Tell me, what is it that you that brings you to this place?"
Quicksand.
Which of the portals did you come from?
Quicksand.
Unless you've used the unless you've already used the headdress, then you want to be friendly and accommodating.
The sad thing is, this is friendly and accommodating for Lily.
I'm telling the truth.
Right, but you get my point.
He's gonna know that you're not charmed.
Yeah. Look, I came from the quicksand portal.
You follow the creepy robots.
God, they're so creepy. Yes.
Damn those things. This is supposed to be my domain, not the goddamn crossroads of the plains.
I mean, they claim they had a contract.
How loudly are they speaking?
He at least is intentionally being quiet and quiet enough to not be overheard from a hallway and a chamber away.
Fair enough.
Very, very well. Stay with your companions and make sure they take the northern tunnel. I will await you there. You will know what to do.
You got it, Count.
Turns back in a mist. Poofs away.
I should have used mental prison on him.
No, just let him think that just let him try and charm me. I love it when vampires try and charm me. It doesn't end well.
Alright,
For them.
so
Gonna meet back up with the party.
Hey Lily, what's up?
Do you have another makeup kit?
Oh my god, what happened?
Lily, I've told you, you look beautiful just the way you are.
I know, this isn't for me.
Also, I assume goblins would need like a different kind of makeup kit, right? Because like
100%.
tones are just completely different.
yeah,
You
completely
just-
different foundation.
You can't shop at human stores for goblin makeup. It's a fucking nightmare. Oh, it's the absolute worst. Oh. Don't
But-
fucking get Lily started.
But why? Why do you have to worry if I brought my other makeup? Like, I threw my last one at that vampire.
You know, he wasn't very charming.
And at any point during the conversation, you could have spent your action to end one effect on you that is causing you to be charmed or frightened.
Oh, yes, I actually will use that and also cast mental prison.
Right, but that would definitely let him figure out that it didn't work.
True.
And in any event, you know where he is and where to avoid if you don't even want to bother.
Yeah. But there's also anger at being charmed. Actually, no, our vampire's immune to charm.
Vampires may or may not be immune to charm.
I don't remember.
You absolute fucker.
I don't remember. I think Bobbin threw a save for when I counter-charmed what's his face, but that might have just been a courtesy. Haha, I'm doing this for shit. He's all.
Might have been to throw you off, yeah.
Well, regardless, the charm's at least broken, and I'll leave it at that. We can just get 5d10 damage is whatever. Yeah, we got a friend waiting up top. Up north.
Oh, okay. So avoid the northern tunnel. Got it.
Yeah, he really doesn't like the Modrons waltzing through here.
I mean, On the one
Can you
hand,
blame
okay,
him?
yeah. Can you blame him? On the other hand, like, oh,
No,
All right.
I-
Well, let's just keep moving. Which way did the Modrons go?
they went
Well,
center pill.
I will say this, presuming that your characters have been studying the giant tower this whole time, that would entitle you to an intelligence check to learn something about it.
Damn, if only I could help. But I was busy dicking around with the vampire. Fucking what a way to spend a night, am I right?
No, that's an 11, but that's probably still
Let
not
me
good
lucky
enough.
that.
I'm sitting here. I can't
What
help,
the
but
fuck?
I want to help, but I can't help. Why do you do this to me?
Okay, hold on. By some miracle of miracles, maybe the guy with the -1 to intelligence can do
I mean,
something.
honestly,
The DC is 18, so
Nope.
no.
I say, just tell me what you know so I can fucking roll. This is painful.
yeah. I don't know what's up with this.
It's a
It
pillar.
sure is spinning.
Like I said, I think our best bet is to just open the door where the mud is gathered at. The Modrons would have gone in at this specific spot for a reason. They don't do things without a reason.
Well, actually, once the mud trail gets to the base of the tower, it surrounds it.
Oh, mama.
Alas, I have not studied it, so I can't roll. How dare you do this?
I mean, you can spend a couple minutes to study it.
Yeah, you know what? I'll fucking study it too, just to check.
All right. So the rest of you, then, which direction would you want to go?
I want to go.
You said left
Left.
before,
I
but
said left.
I just want to take a look what's down there.
All right. Well, it appears that there is some sort of chamber further in, along with a side passage that leads back down south.
What's the, like, dotted lines here?
What could that mean?
I mean, what does my character does my character see these dotted lines?
I wonder if you do.
That's
They're not drawn out on the stone, if that's what you're asking.
okay. I'm just. Well, now I'm suspicious. I want to search.
They're just
look
dotted
very
lines, they can't
carefully
hurt
at the
you.
dotted lines. Well, they might be able to.
All right.
Now I'm very suspicious. What?
That will be an investigation check.
All right.
No, looks fine.
Okay. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Wait, these look like more dotted lines. God damn it.
We don't want to go north anyway. Remember, that's where the vampire's hanging out.
Well, I still want to see what's over there.
We'll look over here so that way I don't hear another big
Right.
baby whiner about dotted lines.
I will, in that case, reveal a certain amount of what's in there. Looks like there's a couple of doors on the right-hand side. And a large squarish chamber beyond it.
And more fucking dotted lines.
Relly's gonna have PTSD about dotted lines when.
Well, no, I'm trying to avoid having PTSD about dotted lines by not going anywhere near them. All right, and what's this way?
Another
Okay,
of the
well,
pillar-lined corridors.
But it goes north. I don't want to go north.
no dotted lines, so that's That's good, at least.
Okay, well, I think this place sucks because there's a vampire hanging around in it, and wants us to go north, and like all three of these corridors lead north, and I don't want to go north, so let's just get like if Aqua wants to explore this place on her own, then that's fine, but this place sucks, and Lake wants out.
There is still that southern passageway. Also, Lily, make your roll.
Oh, finally. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ! This thing's an enigma!
You're all prime, so you're all at a disadvantage anyway.
No, but we were rolling normally.
I'm talking generally, not in terms of the game mechanic.
Joke about game mechanics.
Right. So, yes, at this point you have been through all of the main hallways of this mini dungeon. And you have several directions that you could go.
So pillar. This place sucks.
And
So, okay, wait, what's the deal? Because I think I maybe missed the original description of the pillar. What?
Oh yeah,
So out of
you
character.
probably stepped out at that point.
Yeah.
Yes, the giant tower at the center of this chamber is rotating. And it's not just rotating,
Right.
it is rotating at different speeds in different directions and in 7 separate segments. It is 50 feet across and 100 feet tall. And 100 feet means that it sort of reaches the ceiling of this chamber. It also appears to be the place where the Modrons made their exit. However, there is a considerable number of other directions to explore in order to figure out where the hell you've gone. Because the one place you are almost certain you are not is Hades, which is the Modrons' next destination.
Right. And so we're in the part of the cycle where they would presumably be going directly to Hades.
Yeah.
Right, instead of the Outlands. They should be going straight to Hades, and for some reason that road led them here. And you don't, at this point, know where here is. Also, only the warlock so far has investigated, only the bard has investigated the dotted line so far. But you do have a rogue on the team.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Maybe investigate the dotted lines and do.
Yeah, okay, I'll fucking investigate the dotted lines. Ugh.
Oh, I need to remember that I can use Peerless Skill for, skill checks.
Don't lie to me. That is in fact a 14. Not 24.
Wow.
No, I want to get it worse.
No, it's
worse.
I meant to say 24, but I was looking directly at the value for my fucking skill, which is 14.
Alright, so you notice a couple of runes carved into the stones on the north side of this corridor. They definitely indicate a magical trap of some sort. Possibly one that leads into that empty-looking chamber beyond. If you can stay off, or if you can stick to the southern wall and creep around the side, you may be able to avoid triggering the trap.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll do that. Let's go.
All right, well,
All right. It leads you to a staircase that appears to head down and then back up to another door on the far side of the hallway. There is also a side passage with stairs that lead even further down.
Just Lily peeks around the corner real quick. Hug the southern wall.
mhm.
It's gonna go further down.
Yep. The stairs down to the left lead to another door.
I'm gonna go with this.
All right. Anything special you want to do with the door down here?
I'm gonna stealthily open it.
All right.
No, I'm gonna investigate it first, actually, see if there's anything up with it.
Sure. Get the NPCs over here. All right. This door sees regular traffic and use and is not trapped. Furthermore, with that 30, you also determine that there is no sound of movement or life on the far side of the door. Although, as you've already noticed, that doesn't necessarily rule everything out.
Yeah, you said life, not unlike.
Regardless, I'm gonna try to stealthily open it this time.
All right, and what you find is a bed chamber.
Ooh.
Well furnished, very large, suite. Lavishly appointed bed, several couches, tables, wardrobes, and chests.
Do vampires sleep in beds?
They generally sleep in coffins.
That's what I thought.
They have to be in touch with their in touch with the soil in which they were buried. Usually that means a coffin or a pile of dirt.
Regardless.
Right.
You see neither in this room. However, you do see assorted piles of jewelry, along with clothing, perfumes, small tools that you would find around a house, and a few more unsettling items, such as well, for this I would need you. Well, no. A few small vials of some sort of liquids that appear to be appear to be something other than perfume, because they are not in fancy bottles. Aside from that, you also see things like thumb screws, barbed whips.
They're
no.
into the kinky shit.
I was just about to say we found Christian Gray's room.
They're into the kinky shit.
And a whole bunch of spiders. Not living spiders. Like spider carved spiders. And just images of spiders carved onto the furniture.
Okay,
and just sort of woven into the bedspread.
In character, I have no way of knowing this. Out of character, this guy's a fucking Loth cultist. God damn it.
Well, regardless, I'm going in.
No,
all right. Once again, this is a place. Once again, this is a place where someone lives, and so there is no trap. There are no traps in this chamber.
Well, first off, let's break open the portable hole. I'm gonna shove that jewelry in there.
All right. You gather what you estimate to be 2,000 gold pieces worth of jewelry.
Holy shit!
Wow.
On top of that, I'm gonna open the chests and see what's inside.
Nothing in particular in the chests.
Just a gimp outfit.
Clothing, sundries, toiletries, some of the jewelry that you are in the process of collecting. but nothing particular.
Okay, well, with the jewelry all taken care of, it's time to close up the hole, put it away, and leave this fucking awful room. Hi, y'all, I made bank.
Cool.
Since everyone's standing there looking like a pack of idiots on the stairs, I'm gonna go around to this door.
I mean,
Yeah, sure.
you're the ones who want to explore this. I just want to get out of here.
Well, we don't really know how to get out of here, do we?
Y'all
Like-
I'm gonna
fucking-
investigate this door.
That is part of the question. And
Oh,
in this
God.
case, the door once again is one for traveling rather than for trapping. But you do hear the sound of someone inside. And specifically, what you hear is the occasional sound of someone flipping pages in a book.
Okay, time to stealthily open this door and look inside. I'll roll actual stealth if you want me to.
Oh, yes, please do.
That's incorrect, it's a 26.
All right, and let me just get to the right page here. This person. 20 what?
6.
Well, that's good because she's actually got a really good passive perception. But in this case, you happen to be an expert. And she is currently very engrossed in her book. The chamber is mostly empty aside from piles of webbing just sort of covering the ceiling. And the chamber is, well, it has a raised area in the center of it. That's what that dotted line means, is that the floor of the room, it just sort of goes up by a foot and then back down on the far side. And at the center of the raised area, there is a dark elf matron who is apparently quietly reading a book and sitting in a swivel chair that is designed with a web pattern out of steel. There is a pad on the seat, but aside from that, it looks like it's a little more for design than for comfort. She doesn't seem to mind, though.
So, based on the whole spider motif, I'm gonna go ahead and guess she isn't one of the cool drow who turned on the evil ways of their people.
Well, if you will recall, from your perspective, a dark elf is just like a surface elf, but one who has dedicated themselves to protecting the roots of the mother tree.
Yeah, that's
Well,
fair. I was using out of character knowledge of what, like,
Right, that's why I'm reminding you, if you're in character knowledge, you have encountered dark elves before, and
They were cool, essentially.
yeah, as far as you remember, they were somewhat suspicious, but otherwise nice people. And they do have a spider motif, but it is in service to the mother tree rather than in service to any sort of demon lord whom you have never heard of.
wait, Demon Lord?
Yeah,
I was
Lolth
thinking
is
of-
technically a demon lord.
Really? I thought she was a god.
That
She's
too.
she is a goddess who is also a demon prince.
Huh, okay. Well,
It sort of depends on the edition.
D&D is weird. Alright. So... Right.
I mean, she's just
So-
casually reading a book in a vampire's house.
Yeah, I
I'm-
mean, that said, we do have reason to be suspicious nonetheless, even without the whole racial profiling angle.
Right, but if none of you say that you're going to step into the chamber, then in a second she is going to look up and notice that the door is ajar.
Oh,
It's
fuck
clearly
it.
a door.
Let's
I'm gonna
go.
walk inside.
Even though there are dotted lines there. Wait.
I
Okay,
would
hold
say-
on. She's in the middle of the dotted lines.
Yeah, the
As I
dotted lines
said,
is like
I
a
would say-
raised thing.
I would
Alright.
say, hold off a second. I was the one who was technically charmed by the vampire. Fuck.
All right.
You
so-
want to go in alone? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, if anything goes south, you can hear.
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't know if I trust Lily's ability to have a conversation.
Wow, fucked up.
Rude.
I
what that
mean,
is.
can you blame me?
No, but still rude.
But
What that
yeah.
is.
So, moving on though. So, as you fully step forward into the room, she notices you out of the corner of her eye, slaps her book shut, and says, "Ah, a visitor. It has been so long since the last ones. Are you a goblin, little one?
Oh,
What brings you so far away from the goblin holes?"
I mean, the Modron March really was initially it, but I had the chance to meet the master. Or at least I assume he is.
The master. Oh, the Modrons. Those would happen to be those mechanical fellows who marched through this place not so long ago.
Yeah, really gross looking, honestly.
Yes, quite unpleasant to the eye. I'm glad they've finally gone. Took them long enough.
Oh. I mean, they always tend to take their sweet time, but
Yes, but they were queued up around that rotating tower for several days. Whatever it was that they were doing to get up to the wherever they were going, it took them a long time to do it. The master, as you call him, was quite upset.
I noticed when I met him.
Oh, that's why you call him that.
Yeah.
Well, if he's here to suck your blood, don't let me interfere, but if you have any companions out in that hallway behind you, I would love to meet all of you.
All right, she seems nice.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't seem like she's gonna immediately throw down with us.
Also, the jig's fucking up anyway. There's no point in hiding it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that I heard you all necessarily. I just assumed that one little goblin would not have gotten this far into Undermountain on her own.
You would be surprised.
Undermountain?
Yes, this is Undermountain. Where are you from?
Where is
I-
Undermountain precisely?
Undermountain.
You could
well,
say
Bobbin, I can't believe you've done me dirty like this.
Out of character, know as little as I know in character, so
Yeah, just
Aaron.
wait for the.
just
Come
let
on.
it happen. Just let it happen.
stop.
Come on. Don't. Well, we're from the prime material plane.
Oh, well, that's where you are right now. But if you've gone through a portal, possibly not from this part of it. Are you familiar with the Sword Coast?
Nope.
Never heard of it.
Are you familiar with Mynth?
Is that some sort of herb?
No.
Nah.
God, now that you mention it, it sounds like one.
Yeah, it might actually. You know, there might be a Mynth herb.
I don't
No.
think so. You're thinking of Mint.
No. Apparently, we both are at a loss, I guess.
Well, Sword Coast is on the continent of Faerun, which is on the planet of Toru, which, from what I understand, is in a place called Realm Space. None of that sounds familiar?
No, we come from the planet Mynth. Us ourselves are from the continent of Karazdak.
Realm space kind of
Fascinating.
sounds. Would realm space sound kind of familiar? Were we introduced to that concept when we met the?
No.
Oh, okay.
You are vaguely familiar with the idea of there being crystal spheres, but you have no names for any of them.
Okay, fair enough. I was just misremembering how much the Spelljammer elves had told us.
Not that much. So, well, none of you seem quite as nervous around me as I am used to. From the goblin, I expected a little bit of subservience, but the rest of you seem a little less ready to attack me as soon as I wave my little whip here.
I have no
You
clue who
mean-
you are.
Because there's a vampire around, or is there another reason that we should be
Yeah, I mean,
afraid of you?
Is there another reason? You do see that I am a high priestess of Loth, do you not?
Yeah, no clue who that is.
Who's that?
there's zero
don't
comprehension
believe-
here.
We're aware of that god.
My. I suppose there are no drow where you're from either, then.
Oh,
Incidentally, you've never heard the word drow used to describe the dark elves.
Okay,
Well,
Yeah,
there are
I mean,
there are dark elves who look like you.
yeah.
but they're not drow. Or at least
Well, I
you've
don't
never
know
heard
what
the term.
I'm not familiar with that term.
Yeah, drow means nothing.
Dark elves who are not drow? What about
Yeah.
your surface elves? Do they follow the Seldarine?
No, they follow the mother tree.
Well, those
Well-
are the green elves.
Some of them do.
Elves outside the Seldarine? Drow outside the worship of Loth? You come from far afield, my friends.
I mean,
Fascinating.
yeah. So, out of curiosity, where do goblins, where you're from, come from?
I vaguely recall hearing the term goblin holes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a sense.
Just fucking Lily reaches up, just jumps to swat Lake in the back of the head.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say that. However, I was contemplating very, very briefly on giving Aurelia a high five.
Regardless, where do your goblins come from?
Body jokes aside, goblins come from mountains, from underground layers, from the far reaches of civilization. Savage, unintelligent creatures spend most of their time searching for the next big, spoiled meal, or attacking one another for what little valuables they can manage to hold on to.
Of course, this will all be retconned in a couple of months.
I mean, this is all
Possibly.
incredibly rude.
Well, the truth is sometimes rude.
I mean,
Perhaps
goblins
it's a
are
different way.
perfectly respectable people from where I am.
Well, perhaps that is true where you're from, but in my experience, goblins rarely amount to much.
I just meant their roots.
Well, from
The
the
origin of goblins. You
they
might
were
not.
created by the gods of the goblins, which I am going to very quickly Google.
Well, this history lesson.
Maglubiet.
Ah,
While this is all quite fascinating,
Also known as the Mighty One or the High Chieftain.
indeed. So while this is all quite fascinating, we don't really intend to spend too much time around here. Do you know how to use that tower?
The tower? Oh, yes. Yes, the master of these chambers, that poor fool of a vampire. Well, he was set to take charge of the tower, which is why he was particularly upset when those Modrons, you called them? He was particularly upset when they just barged in here like they owned the place and did nothing when he attempted to charm them. And instead, quickly, quietly, and directly entered the tower, went up through the layers to whichever one is their destination, and proceeded through.
I see. So the tower has multiple portals within it?
Yes, one for each segment. Although from what I understand, the top two have stopped rotating and the portals have stopped working. Presumably those weren't where those Modrons were headed. They didn't seem to have much trouble.
Why did they stop rotating?
Age, I suppose. This Undermountain is a tremendous labyrinth built by a mad wizard named Hallister. I have come to an arrangement with him to spend some time here in Undermountain. In exchange, I am to menace exploring adventurers who dare to approach this area in search of gold and jewels.
Is that what you're doing right now?
Yes, are you frightened?
Terribly. Terribly frightened.
Look, I'm charmed by a vampire. I don't understand anything at this point.
Are you really?
That's a good question, isn't it? Answer
Well,
to him, not you, after all.
Well, if you do meet him, tell him I said hi. Using whatever sort of methods you prefer.
Out of curiosity, would you happen to know of a portal to Hades?
Well, I suppose it must be on that tower somewhere. I'm not much of a planeswalker myself. And as it is, I'm a bit isolated at the moment. The tunnel into the Underdark has gone and collapsed, and my slaves have yet to rectify the situation.
Might I actually ask your name?
Well, yes, of course. You don't expect a drow matron mother to raise a pickaxe with her own hands. And since you are
Just
so...
pay people.
And since you are so polite as to ask, my name is Palistra.
Oh, pleasure to meet you.
It's been absolutely lovely, Palistra, but we should probably...
A drow matron mother and high priestess of her glory, Lorth.
Well, it's been lovely meeting you.
Likewise.
Yeah, it's fine.
To meet such strange travelers now and again really adds some spice to life.
To be fair, this is all incredibly strange to us as well.
Yeah, like, this is super weird.
So glad as to provide you with mutual stimulation.
Yes. Well, regardless, I should probably go attend to the master, shouldn't I?
Well then, you've entertained me and informed me well enough for my satisfaction, so be off with you. I grant you your lives.
Okay, thank you.
Well, not yours to grant, but that's fine.
Before we go, next time you see him, tell him to pick his charm targets better.
I will be sure to rub that in his face.
Oh, please do.
I like you, lady.
Well, she is evil and a slave owner, so questionable.
I missed the
But
part
we
where
have
I missed the part where she was a slave owner, so maybe I don't like her so much.
we have a direction
Yeah.
now. I didn't want to fight her though. It's not worth getting into trouble.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Nice to meet, maybe not nice to know.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, we should leave before she notices that you stole all of the jewelry.
This is true. We did steal all of her jewelry.
To be fair, it's not like she would have known.
Oh, she would have. Eventually. When she goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Or meditate. Or...
Whatever it was.
Honestly, the lore surrounding Drow is a little bit extra weird.
Before she goes to praise Lolth in her own way.
Yeah, because meditation is supposed to be like communing with your past lives as elves, but the Drow are cut off from their past because of the whole break between Lolth and the Sildarine.
So stupid. So stupid.
There's a reason.
Weird.
I love Forgotten Realms' backstory. I hate the setting itself in the modern day that it's set in, because just get all the other heroes to solve it for you. Who even cares?
I feel
By
like
the
part of
way-
the problem is just hauling up shit from so many previous editions at this point.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, you remember how one of your epilogue goals was to go to the Forgotten Realms and tell them how stupid their setting is?
That was after.
You're welcome.
Well, regardless, we should climb the tower and find our way to Hades.
Yeah, but if there's 5 different portals we could choose from and we don't know which one, I don't know how we... I mean, I guess we just stick our heads out of each portal and fucking hope that they're
We just asked.
2 ways.
We just asked the receptionist, "Is this Hades?"
So, I mean, there was that one portal that I saw, but...
Which?
No, the one to the south.
That
Oh,
heads
there's
backwards to the abyss.
That's why I was just mentioning that we already have one out of the way.
But this is actually where Ach comes back into play.
Hmm.
Because as a planer, she is well suited to figuring out what's on the other side of portals without having to go through them.
Cool.
And if you will scroll up and to your left,
Ah,
you
Oh.
will see a vertical
Convenient.
representation of the tower with all of the destinations filed off.
I hate that I just keep thinking of fucking King's Quest 6.
I've never played a King's Quest game.
There's a very specific song that my brain keeps going back to, which is Girl in the Tower. And also how they got Sierra into legal trouble.
Oh?
Yes, because they tried basically abusing, fucking, what is it, pay-to-play laws? Basically, they were telling people to call in the specific radio stations and request that Girl in the Tower get played.
Hmm.
The FCC wanted fucking none of that.
Yeah, Sierra was going through one hell of a time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh.
yeah, so Ach is able to determine that level 1 goes to Pandemonium. And when you climb up to level 2, that one goes to the Abyss. And after that, the pattern becomes fairly self-evident.
Oh, so level 3. Oh.
Is
No,
another
that would be
portal to
Carcer.
Carceri.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wait, why
And-
does this place need 2 portals to the Abyss and 2 portals to Carceri?
You remember how the priestess told you that the designer of this place is insane?
Okay, well, fair enough.
All right, and at this point, in the normal adventure, Ak would betray you because she wants to get to Sigil first in order to sell the information to the highest bidder. But you have made it clear that that is not your goal, nor destination, nor intention. And so instead you will go to the Grey Waste of Hades. You will part ways there. And this particular adventure has come to a close.
Yes, Hades, or as I call it, home.
Wow.
The vampire is just
Or-
sitting there going, where the hell are the rest of those guys so I can eat them?
Our lack of greed pays off by removing the climax, I guess.
Yeah. And you also avoided not one, not two, but four potential combats.
Look, I had such a lovely time with the priestess that like I just wanted to leave.
The
Yeah,
priestess
sure.
was actually the least likely combat. So it's good that you went to her first.
Yeah, and I stole all of her shit.
And it's also
Yeah.
good that you avoided the vampire because he would have attacked regardless of whether or not he charmed a party member if they entered the northern chambers. As a matter of fact, let me just illustrate by revealing some more areas here.
Okay.
So, like, the two areas up here belong to the vampire, and the secret door there leads further into Undermountain, which the module recommends that you not do because this is supposed to be a Planescape campaign.
Not an Undermountain campaign.
We live in Farron now. So what is Undermount? I know you said where it is, but like I've never heard of that.
It's
Neither have I.
Is a mega dungeon that is underneath the city of Waterdeep, which is one of the biggest cities on the Sword Coast area.
Okay, no, I'm familiar with Waterdeep. Yeah.
I believe there's at least one module in 5th edition that makes use of Undermountain.
I think it's called the Mad Mage's Maze or something like that. I don't remember.
Right. but
Regardless.
Another combat you avoided was the additional pillared portal. The third one, as it turns out, goes to hell. And there were a set of Abashai who were arguing with each other over whether to continue to explore Undermountain after having crossed through the portal. Upon seeing you, they would have shouted and attacked you immediately.
Wait, about the hell?
Yeah, they're here for conquest, so they're
No,
not
I
here
just meant
for discussion. And the last combat you avoided was if Lily had proceeded into the southern chamber below the Drow matron mother, there were a couple of harpies there. Would have used their songs and then tried to entrance the party and then attacked and ate them.
We avoided all that.
Gee.
God damn, I'm fucking good at this.
Yeah, and the harpies, incidentally, that if you told the matron mother that, oh yeah, we killed the harpies, she would have said, oh, those were my servants. How amusing. Thanks for getting rid of them. Their singing was annoying me.
She's just extremely chill. Like, as long as we don't kill her for being a drow on a sunny day, then she's
Yeah.
fine.
To be fair, we don't know what the fuck drow are, so it's
Yeah.
fine.
And also, we don't know if it's a sunny day out.
We also don't know who the fuck Lalth is.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
as far as, well, I mean,
Although
with the
that
slave
much
owning,
that much is actually sort of built into the module as well, since you are supposed to be a bunch of planar characters who have nothing to do with the Forgotten Realms or dungeon delving in general.
Huh.
But yeah, that is also why the characters in this module are more stereotyped than usual.
Well, regardless, that went fantastically.
Those two chambers that the vampire lives in. One of them is his art gallery, because he spends his time between adventurers painting. And the other one is his bedroom, in which everything is colored blood red.
Just not a man of subtlety.
I mean,
the wall hangings, the coffin, the furniture, the rugs, everything blood red.
Corpo,
That's it.
Corpo, he's a vampire in Forgotten Realms. Of course, he has zero inkling of subtlety at all.
Regardless, though, we did great. We did great. I did great. I got so much fucking money.
So are you going to split that, or?
No. Aurelia's loaded in Lake's Lake.
I mean, Aurelia's not really that loaded because she's spending all her money on trying to fucking fix the world because it got fucked up by zombies.
Right. Well, actually, with that in mind, Lily, what is your passive perception?
It would be... What is it, 10 plus my modifier?
Yeah.
That's 20.
Your modifier for perception is 10?
Yeah. Fuck me!
Well, too bad. You, when you part ways with Ak, you check your, well, you check the money that's on your person, because the jewelry was in your portable hole. But any sort of cash that you have on your person, you now have half of it.
Bold to assume I don't leave all my money in the hole.
Well, you do need some, spending money.
Let's say I just lose 500, fuck it.
But yeah, so, that's how that ends.
Yay.
Honestly, I think Lily should be at least on top of being angry because it is Lily, should be a little impressed.
I mean, Lily's not hunting her down to kill her, so that says a lot already.
And incidentally, you now know why I chose this particular piece of music. Just reread the title of it.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I did notice that.
RPG exploration music, Forgotten
Fucking
Realms.
Cheeky asshole.
Alright, well that's it. There is going to be one more main module, and then after that, possibly in the same session, possibly in the next one, the Modron March will be over.
My god.
Wow. We've been following these terrible things for
long?
a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has it been a year yet? Should update Aurelia's age.
I just deeply appreciate that I managed to bumble my way through this entire thing and not get into a fight.
I should up Blake's age. Oh.
Granted, it helps that I have my fucking spite magic item, because I got tired of being charmed.
Oh yeah, that definitely helped.
Has it been 5 years since we started the campaign? In character, not out
I
of...
think it's like 4.
And less for me, but yeah.
It has been most of a year since the Modron March began.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, though, I'm gonna dip out, so later.
Later.
Yep.